What's going on, guys? It's Pete back here with another episode of wheel reviews for the 2026 aftermarket wheel market. Today we are going over KG1 like we promised in the last video. They do have a select 6 that I wanted to go over with you guys on new wheels, and one of them is actually going to be a whole new series that they're coming out with that's really cool. So let's get into it real fast with KG1. KG1 is another one of those companies like American Force that is going to be a monoblock forged company, super high quality aluminum with beautiful finishes and a ton of designs. They come out with new designs constantly. Here are some of the ones for 2026. Okay, so this is the KG1 VASH KF101. It's their newest design in the Legend series. This wheel is, this is gorgeous. You see that we've got triangles going alongside straight posts. We've got about 8 straight posts. This one has almost a fat old rhombus emerald looking shape that is right in the middle of those triangles. Their Legend series is going to be a very deep dish wheel. It's not a full concave, but you will be able to get to a 30 by 16 in this. So that's pretty large. Usually with a 16-inch, you're looking at about a -112 offset. So you're at about 12 inches, 10 to 12. Right in that range. So you will be sticking out very wide with this wheel. Personally, this wheel is sick. I love this wheel. It's doing a lot, but it's not too complex to where I couldn't run it. Even in the black like we're looking at here, that would look sweet on a color matched vehicle. And in the polished, you could put that on really anything. KG1 can, just like American Force, customize every aspect of the wheel. KG1 is priced a little bit less than American Force, I will say that. So that's nice. And I will get into a split second about the series that's sweet about KG1, but you can customize them in any fashion on most of their wheels. And you can get spinner caps as well on their wheels and customize those to say whatever the heck you want. They do have a wheel collection now called the Contender Series. Contender Vintage, Contender Truck, SUV, Contender Dually. These are all wheels. I wonder if they even have Contender Dualies out yet. No, they don't, but they're coming out with them. That'll be sweet. That's gonna save people a lot of money. I'm going to tell Kyle about that because he needs to make sure that he keeps his eye on that. This series, I'll just pull up the truck one, is a series of forged wheels that don't come in as many sizes or anything like that, and they do only come in 2 colors. You can powder coat them on your own, but it's aluminum and black, and this Contender series has several different designs that aren't crazy complex, but they are forged wheels, so they are stronger. They will last longer than your cast wheels. And these wheels go from a 20 by 9 to a 26 by 11. Sometimes you can get custom cuts of 24 by 12, 22 12, 22 14. You can get some custom cuts, you got to call and ask, but they do range a lot cheaper than your average forged wheel. So these wheels, typically you'll see a 22 12 forged wheel going for 800 bucks. This 22 12 wheel will probably be around the $600 mark. So you're saving a drastic lot of money. That's a little bit about KG1's Contender Series collection. Absolutely sweet. Let's get into more of their new wheels. So the Intent KT099. This one is sweet. We've got near the same thing, about 8 spokes going horizontally, diagonally, and vertically. And then you've got 2 triangles on each side of those spokes and a rhombus right down the middle. This is in the Contender Series. So this is one of the ones that I actually was just drawn to that looks a little bit better in the Contender Series and a little bit more crazy. This one does have a good design to it. It's pretty flashy. Comes in 20 by 9 all the way to 26 by 11 with some cuts in between if they're available. The cool thing about Contender Series is that a lot of times they're right off the shelf, so they're in stock. Whereas most forged wheels, you have to wait 6 to 8 weeks, 6 to 10 weeks, depending on the size and color. These ones in black and milled, and in aluminum are typically in stock for KG1, which is beautiful for forged wheels if you've ever tried to order them. The Intent looks a lot like this VAST that we just looked at. The VAST, as you can see, just has a little bit more detail within the lines of the spoke, right? And so I do think that a lot of times they mimic these Contender Series to the Legend wheels, but they give the Legend wheels more design and want the larger sizes, right? So as you can see, this one does look very similar. It's just that rhombus is deeper and you've got more cuts in between the edges of these spokes, right? And so that's pretty cool. Big fan of both of those wheels. If I wanted to save money though, however, going with just a 24 by 12 or a 22 12, I would go with a Contender Series one. It's just if I was trying to save money. If I had all the money in the world, I'm getting this fast. That looks phenomenal. Okay, NOMADIC KTV002. This is a Contender Series vintage. Supposed to go on vintage Mustangs, sports cars, vintage trucks, whichever one it is. They come in 2 sizes. This one only comes in a 5 lug, but this comes in a 20x9 or 20x10. This is a 10-spoke wheel. It's just a basic, what you would think of when you look at a vintage wheel. There's not a lot of design to it. It's classy. Yeah, I could see you running that on an old Mustang for sure. I don't know if I'd put that on a truck, but like an old sports car, I'd definitely. It's just a classic, you know, almost looks like an American racing wheel. Luckily it is forged, so it's gonna last you a lot longer, be a little bit lighter, but this is sweet. It's just an old vintage wheel. Hardtail, KC100, hardtail. There she is. Look at that thing, dang. Black and milled, it's looking black. Ooh, I'd imagine we get some of these here soon, dude. These are pretty cool. This hardtail one is cool. In the black and milled, it looks very, very specifically wild. They put the black in all the places that I would have, and they put all the aluminum in all the places that I would have put it. So you've got a clear spiral star design from the black accents of the wheel, and then the same thing going for the aluminum. Looks very good, almost like you could imagine if the wheel was actually spinning, then the black would go over the aluminum, and the black would go, and it would look sick. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Definitely one that I would say I would put on a show truck. Big fan. I would do this guy actually really large. I would throw a 28 or 26 on a show truck with this. And even in just the standard aluminum, like it looks very good. It's not like aggressively busy, but it's showy. It shows it all. I'm a big fan of that wheel. The next one we're gonna do is the Joker. This one came out a little bit ago, so about a month ago. And it is starting to leave shelves. It's starting to go really fast. Ooh, you'll see with this, I love this. They did a little bit something different with this wheel. And this is just a cap finish, but I go crazy for this. So with this cap finish, you can see in here, they do offer caps that are all blacked out instead of having the KG1 in white. This is an all blacked out cap, which I rave over. If something's gonna be an all blacked out vehicle, just make it all blacked out and even do the cap center cap blacked out. That looks really good. Very rarely see the KG1 caps with all blacked out. That looks really, really good. And it looks great on this wheel. This wheel is really, really good looking. Not a big fan of the black and milled in this one. I love the inner designs, the line work in between the spokes and on the outside edges of it. I think that looks phenomenal. You could definitely throw this like in a 30-inch size and just absolutely rock a show truck world. I think I have my rankings of the top 5. Before we get into that, take a guess down in the comments of what my top 5s are gonna be. And while you're taking your guess, I'm gonna put up the next section of what we're gonna talk about, which is our number 6 section. It's gonna be an entire new wheel design for KG1. And that is going to be the bash rings. It's called the Overland Series, but it's their bash ring concept. They are expanding in a lot of different directions with this, so they're gonna go a lot of directions with bash ring and overland section. Just looking at this image up here, you can kind of see what this whole thing is about. You have one designed or color wheel, and then you have a designed ring. That ring and the wheel can be painted different colors. You can take the ring off and run the wheel without the beadlock ring, and you can run it with the beadlock ring. This does work as a functional beadlock. And so whether you are riding it without it or when you put it on it, you can do it both ways. But it will be working as a functional beadlock, and you can customize the colors of each of these, which is so cool because I know of a lot of people who have always asked, oh, I like the black on this, but I want a red wheel. I want a black wheel with red, or I want a chrome wheel and then it maybe has a dune finish. You can now do that with KG1. That's not to say these wheels are cheap. They are pretty expensive as it's a new design coming out. They're gonna use that hype of the new design probably to raise prices and try to find where that perfect price is. But this is an insanely cool design because now you can customize exactly what your beadlock wheel wants to look like. That really hasn't been done ever in the wheel world. That's very, very cool. And I think that a lot of overlanders or off-roaders will be using that to their advantage to get the perfect look on their Jeeps. And I would strongly recommend it because though they don't have many styles yet, they are coming out with more. And the styles that they do have are pretty dang good looking, like this kill switch design. This looks phenomenal. I'm a big fan of this wheel. I would run it on a Jeep Bronco or just a truck any day. It just is classy looking. I like beadlocks a lot. That is the Overland Bash Ring Series and what KG1 is newly doing for 2026. Into the years coming, they're going to expand on that series quite a lot for overlanding adventures. I'm excited for it. You guys should definitely be excited for it. Okay, my top 5. Number 5, the NOMADIC KTV KG002 is going to be my number 5. I love an old Mustang. Don't get me wrong. Again, it's my dream to have an old Mustang, but I don't. If I can't picture me in a wheel with that many spokes, I would just picture me in a 5-spoke wheel. That being said, I do think that it would go very well on old sports cars, and you could kind of play around with what colors you want and stuff like that. So I think that it's a very cool design, and I love that they're doing vintage stuff with forged wheels. Number 4 is going to be our Joker, the one we just went over. I really do love the design of this wheel. I think that it's very cool looking. It's a little bit too much of a drastic circle motion for me, as I'm more of a straight spoke guy. With a little circle is not bad. I will say I love that they showed the all blacked out cap on this wheel. I do think that this would very much so look good on like an all white F250 with 30s on it that's lifted 12 inches. That'd be absolutely sick to see this on it. The next one is going to be the Intent KT099. That's their new Contender wheel. I do love Contender wheels and what KG1 is doing with this series of how they're making more affordable forged wheels with good designs. The other wheel, my number 1 actually, looks just like this, except there is little etchings into the metal that I think really bring out the flavor of the wheel. And this one just doesn't have it. So that's why it's not perfect for me. If I wanted a cheaper forged wheel, this would be the wheel that I would inevitably go with. My number 2 is going to be the Hardtail KC100. This Hardtail wheel is phenomenal. There's not as much turning going on. There's just a little bit with a lot of straight spokes. I think this wheel is perfect for me in a sense of a show wheel. My number 1, I would definitely run over this for a show wheel. But if I'm doing a turning action in a show wheel, I would definitely run this wheel without question. It can go up to 30x16. It definitely looks sick in all aspects too, because the gloss black and milled, they put the milled in the perfect places to make this look absolutely crazy on show trucks. It really does make it look like when it turns, you'll be able to tell where the colors of the wheel are. And I think that that's very cool. All right, my number 1. I also love this one, the Splice. They didn't even give me it. That looks sick. That looks really good. Well, I just saw another one that I loved, which is called the Splice. That wheel actually would top this one, but I guess it's not new enough for them to mention it. But the Vast is my number 1 in the collection we just went over with. And it is because though it looks like the Contender, you can see these little etchings on the outside, and that just makes the wheel glisten a little bit more. And it has more spokes. There are probably 8, 9, 10 spokes added to this, but it does have another, it almost gives it an extra layer of personality, these spokes. And you can see the layering inside. All of the spokes is different. It makes it pop. And this is available in a 30x16. And so I would definitely run this personally on a show truck if I had the money for it. But I want to show you really fast. This wheel right here, the Splice, that is my personal favorite wheel I've seen this year, easily. That in black, this is crazy. It looks so good. Undoubtedly, this is my number 1 choice for a show truck wheel if I wanted to change things up. Black and milled, it also looks good. But just the aluminum, I'm running that all day, every day. Big fan. That would be my number 1 for the year. And it'll be hard to top that because that looks like, it's like a Y spoke with 2 lines going. It just looks like, I don't know. For some reason it reminds me of like something Asgardian. I'm just like, yep, that's me. A big fan. All right, guys, that is my wrap up of KG1's new wheels coming out. Please drop in the comments which one's your favorite and what your list is, as this is my personal opinion. I'm a big fan of a lot of the stuff KG1's doing, and I hope that they continue to do stuff like this. Maybe put a little bit more detail into the Contender Series. If you have any questions about these wheels, how much they cost, and what they might look like on your vehicle, give us a holler here at 301-694-4642. Call the aftermarket team. We would love to help you guys out, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Want a free set of wheels and tires from Krietz Customs? Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. At 50,000 subscribers at the end of the year, we will be giving away a free set of wheels and tires just like this one. 35, 12, 50, 22 Fury Country Hunter on a 22x12 fuel wheel. You want them? We'll see you at the end of the year. Just smash the subscribe button for me.